Welcome back to the program. In Somalia, at least 6 members of the Al-Shabaab Islamic militant group have been killed by U.S. airstrikes. The U.S. Africa Command says the operation was carried under new powers given to U.S. forces by President Donald Trump in March, allowing for lethal action against the Al-Qaeda affiliate. Mr. Trump designated some areas of Somalia as active war zones, meaning U.S. forces required less high-level vetting to carry out strikes against the militants, U.S.-based Newsweek magazine reported. Over the past years, Al-Shabaab has waged a brutal insurgency in Somalia. In the Central African Republic, President Faustin Archange Touadera has sacked his defense minister. In a presidential statement released, the government did not say if Joseph Yakete's dismissal was linked to the continued instability and sectarian unrest. In its latest assessment, the United Nations reported at least 25 people have been killed this month and thousands more made homeless in a new wave of violence. The report says fighting between two rival armed factions left 10 people dead in the central city of Brer. And in the eastern village of Yakapi, at least 15 people were killed in violent confrontation between the two communities. And I've been joined in the studio, Dr. Isiaka Adams, a lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Lagos. Welcome to Network Africa.
Thank you.
So we're here. Tuesday evening, the Central African Republic president sacked his defense minister, Joseph Yakete. What do you make of that decision?
I think it's a belated decision because the ongoing crisis in the Central African Republic has claimed more lives than expected, and over 200,000 people have been displaced internally. And if you follow trends there, he has been on the blacklist list by the United Nations Security Council Committee, Special Committee, since 2014. So one expects that such personality should not be in a cabinet that is trying to seek truce among the factions.
Well, one question would be that then the government, when they're aware of this, as at that time, 2014, when he was indicted for his role in the civil war.
It was well publicized, and
yes, but to think that he still had his job until now.
Yeah, the reason is he was part of he was part of that cabinet. Was actually, if you trace the origin, is that he was part of the anti-Kabbalah group. Fighting the Seleka group, which so it's like a compensatory appointment, and then one would expect that you don't put people who have committed atrocities, internationally acclaimed atrocities. You don't put them in cabinets like that where you want to seek truce among factions.
One other question would be that, do you think that his dismissal has to do with the growing instability and the unrest? Because the statement was not specific.
Yeah, of course. I said a belated reaction. Yeah. So the government is trying to, project a semblance of, reacting, trying to douse tensions. But the damage has been done already, and a lot of people have died. Humanitarian crisis, and that place has been spotted as one of the areas in the world where you have aid workers who are actually assisting were also killed, and a lot of facilities destroyed. So it's coming belatedly. So, but it's rather late, better late than never. So it's a good riddance to rubbish. So one would expect that his replacement will be someone who will be more proactive, try to unite a fragile country that's been divided along ethnic and religious lines.
You have a point talking about the deteriorating security situation in that country. When perhaps presidents or governments make decisions like this belatedly, what does that make of, the government or the cabinet of, that particular country?
Well, it's symptomatic of the general problem of state formation in Africa. You see, people don't, listen to the yearnings of the people. They are those that they govern, and they won't expect that. You don't expect international agencies or international bodies to sanction someone, to blacklist someone before you take actions.
Or even before the person decides to resign.
Yeah, it's undermining the integrity of that cabinet as a whole. But you kept him there because of the role he has played in the past. which is a notorious road. So one would expect that it's what we see across Africa. You compensate people who have a very, very ugly past just to ensure that you have a semblance of inclusiveness.
Do you think we would learn going forward? I mean, do people have to die before we realize the right thing to do in this continent?
Well, this is Africa, but one expects that in the age of globalization, we must say kudos to the United Nations for actually, blacklisting 3 of them, actually, but he was more prominent. One would expect that governments in Africa will do the right thing at the right time, rather than keeping people who are, rather burdens rather than assets to in their cabinet.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Isiaka Adams, lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Lagos, for joining us on Network.
Thank you very much.
A traditional staple meal made from maize or sorghum and consumed widely across Africa in different forms is being sold in Nigeria in a labeled convenient pack. Well, an entrepreneur, Ijeoma Ndukwe, has big plans to take this simple porridge to Nigeria's huge diaspora population with an insatiable taste for home.
A factory worker checks the tenderness of maize that has been soaked to the ground into one of Nigeria's most popular breakfasts. This local pap is prepared and sold as a sour paste. At Buber's Foods, Nigerian pap, a traditional meal consumed since maize was introduced into the continent hundreds of years ago, will be packaged in airtight containers for sale. Ijeoma Ndukwe, a busy mother of 3, said she started Buber's Foods to cut out the hustle of soaking and milling the maize at home, a process that can take days to achieve the desired taste and consistency.
I thought about it, that there were several mothers like me who wanted to give their kids this staple, this traditional meal that we all grew up taking, but there were busy moms working to support the family and didn't have exactly the time to process the meal for their children. I figured that I could be a bridge between the meal and the mothers, thereby providing convenience and hygiene for the staple meal called pap.
Pap can be made from millet, maize or sorghum and is best enjoyed with a bean cake called akara. Kingsley Ohazu says this staple meal is filling and affordable.
It's about 50 naira, and when you take it with akara, maybe 50 naira to 170 naira, you are done for the day. You can go and sleep and give you enough energy.
Ndukwe has turned this ordinary cereal, which she first started selling out of her car to friends, into a booming business with over 80 vendors across Nigeria. She's also working on a dry option for export as she tests the market among Nigeria's large diaspora population, looking for a taste of home.
So we are exporting, but not in large scale to even meet the demand of this product from outside of the country. But we're exporting to the US and to the UK, and then people travel with the product by themselves to places like Canada, Cyprus, South Africa, Germany, and to many other places as well.
The product's packaging seems to be its unique selling point. While pap has been sold in open-air markets in light plastic bags for years, unless it's consumed or refrigerated within 3 days, it can go bad.
It's well packaged, so I consider my family would prefer it to the local one, which is usually sold in open.
Nigeria is going through its worst economic crisis in years due to a fall in global oil prices. The government wants to wean itself off oil and is encouraging local business to create wealth and boost employment.
And on that note, that's it on Network Africa. Thank you for watching. I'm Millicent Walker.